guys, welcome to one of my Wednesday videos, and in this one I'm going to go through Alice in Wonderland retellings and which ones I've read and which ones I've liked. And my kitten is apparently just decided to help me in addition to the Cheshire Cat. So this is one of my favorite. I have very few stuffed animals left, but this is one of my favorite that I got at the Magic Kingdom many years ago. He's got a very long tail. Anyways, I thought it'd be appropriate to have him help me with this video. I was not expecting my kitten to come and help me. I don't know if you could see him. Oh my gosh. There he is, laying down there on the ground. That is Ravidi. He is also helping with this video, looking very depressed and flat. Anyways, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and just go through it. Again, like the Peter Pan retellings video, I will link down below to reviews on these. A lot of these end up being series, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I mean, I guess Alice in Wonderland kind of is a series of stories. And I'm going to be using my little cheat sheet here. So the first one I want to talk about is probably one of my favorites, and that is the Chronicles of Alice by Christina Henry. This is a very dark adult retelling of Alice in Wonderland. It's definitely got a horror kind of bent to it, and I think my camera's a little crooked here from showing you the kitten. The premise is that Alice escapes the insane asylum when a fire burns it down, and a horror of some sort escapes with her. It's very vicious and very gory. It is a duology, and there is an additional short story collection which adds both some background and kind of ties up the overall story a little bit better. I really thought it was well done. I loved it a lot. I do tend to like a lot of dark fantasy, so that was, great for this. The next one I really liked, and I realized that I never finished reading it, is the Wonderland Chronicles by J.M. Sullivan. I gave the first book in this series 4 stars. It reminded me a little bit of this is like way ancient history, but Alice the Madness Returns video game. It kind of had that theme to it. There are 3 books in the series so far, and I realized when I was looking back for my reviews that I never went back and read books 2 and 3, even though I really liked the first book. Again, kind of more of a horror type of Alice in Wonderland retelling. All right. I'm going to go into one now that I didn't like as much. And this one is super well known and super popular, and that's the Alice in Zombieland series by Gina Showalter. The White Rabbit Chronicles was the first book in that. And this, I think my big disappointment in this is it's not really an Alice in Wonderland retelling. It is more of a zombie type of thing. We're not talking Alice in Wonderland here, besides the fact that I think the main character's name is Alice, and she's in a different world when all these zombies appear. So basically about a teen girl who find out zombies are real and in the modern day world. Sorry, if you're looking for a zombie story, it's okay. It's not great, but it's definitely not an Alice in Wonderland retelling, so I would kind of steer clear of Alice in Zombieland. I thought it was very misleading. All right, another one that I enjoyed quite a bit is Curiouser and Curiouser by Melanie Karsak, and this is the first book in the steampunk fairy tales retelling. This was very well done. It's kind of an Alice in Wonderland set in London, and it's a steampunk London. Alice is kind of like a past thief who was involved in a crime ring, and that was kind of the Wonderland crew, and she's trying to get out of that. There were a lot of really fun kind of reimaginings of Wonderland characters in there, and kind of an interesting reimagining as Wonderland is more of like a crime syndicate, if that makes any sense, but it's all set in Victoria, London, which has a steampunk type of thing going on. So I like that a lot, and that was a single book, but it is part of a fairy tale retelling series called the Steampunk Fairy Tales, and all of them are pretty well done. So if you're interested in fairy retellings and like steampunk, it's a great series to pick up. So it was perfect for me. Another one that I actually started listening to this on audiobook, is called The Collectors Society by Heather Lyons. This is a 4-book series. It's more of an urban fantasy in which Alice has returned from Wonderland, and she's offered a job with the secret society whose job it is to prevent literature timelines from being decimated. Unfortunately, Wonderland is the next timeline that's going to be destroyed, And so she gets volunteered to do that. And I only listened to the first book in this. I liked it. I didn't love it. At the time, I just had a lot more audiobooks to read, and I might go back and listen to this at some point. Again, I didn't feel like, I mean, there are Wonderland references in there, but this is at heart more of like an investigative urban fantasy. The idea of protecting like stories from being destroyed is an interesting one. So it's good. Okay, the next one that was a standalone book that I liked, okay, it wasn't great, it was okay, is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And this is more of a prequel to Alice in Wonderland, and it's about the Red Queen and how she kind of got to be who she is. It was okay. I thought all the characters were pretty hard to like. I mean, you know, the Red Queen ends up being quite the villain, and so it's hard to kind of relate to her when you know where everything's going to end up. I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite Marissa Meyer book, and it wasn't my favorite like Alice in Wonderland expansion, but it was fine. All right, the next one that I read is actually a manga series, and that's Pandora Hearts by Jun Mochizuki. And I really liked the artwork in here and kind of the creative way the Alice in Wonderland themes were brought into this manga series. I did read the first 5 volumes of it, and then I stopped because I had a lot of manga to read. It was moving pretty slow. The story does get kind of confusing, and it was a little bit hard to follow, which is another reason I kind of stopped reading it. It is 24 volumes total, but it was really interesting and, fun to read. All right, so now going on to another one of my favorites. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here. The Splintered series by A.G. Howard. This trilogy is one of my favorites, about a young girl who is cursed back many generations to the original Alice with like insanity, and she has to figure out how to deal with her insanity and with Wonderland and try to cure this curse. It was young adult, but it had a very dark fantasy vibe to it. I love the characters in here. Some of the description of the world were just really, really well done. Aside from the Chronicles of Alice by Christina Henry, this is probably my second favorite Alice in Wonderland retelling or extension. All right, 2 more to talk about, and the next one is another one that was very popular back a bit ago, and that is The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Beddor. This is a trilogy, and in this case, Alice is the heir to the Wonderland throne, and she flees to London to escape her murderous Aunt Red. This is it's very much got like epic fantasy type of vibes to it. There's big wars and between the nations and all this kind of stuff. I think I gave 4 or 5 stars. I liked it. I didn't love it. It was good and things tied up well. And then an offshoot of this is the last one I'm going to mention, and that is Hatter M, which is a graphic novel spin-off series from The Looking Glass Wars that features Hatter M, who is one of the main characters in The Looking Glass Wars. I liked the artistic style to this graphic novel, but I didn't think the story was great. It was kind of confusing and a little hard to follow and just not that interesting, so I never continued on with it. I don't even remember how many volumes were released in the Hatter M graphic novel series, but I read the first couple. So, those are some Alice in Wonderland retellings that I have read. I know there are more out there. These were kind of the main ones, though, that I both found online and that I've read, so I can speak to them. Again, like as with all of these, if you have any Alice in Wonderland retellings that you really love, please comment down below. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite classic literature books, and I have read all the original books, which I think are worth reading. The Jabberwocky poem is one of my favorites. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, and I'm always looking for great new retellings that kind of expand on that world. And I hope that you got some good recommendations from listening to this, and you enjoy the ones that you decide to check out. With that being said, I publish videos, usually Mondays and Wednesdays. Why do I always say Mondays? Wednesdays and Saturdays. I always say Mondays, and I have to correct myself. Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturday is usually stacking the shelves, and Wednesday is usually something else. I hope you got a lot of great books and that you have a great week of reading ahead of you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.